students, this is your physics class. So student, first of all, I am going to introduce. In our last lecture, we have done prism. When a ray of light passes through a prism, then how a light bend and how to a refraction take place when incident ray traveling toward rare to denser medium. So what do you mean by angle of deviation and all? So students, today first of all we practice some question 2.14 on your SB9. So question is that million of people developing countries of the world are suffering from corneal blindness. These persons can be cured by replacing the defective cornea with cornea of a donated eye. So a charitable society of our city has organized a champion in your neighborhood in order to create awareness about this fact. If you are asked to participate in this mission, how would you contribute to this noble cause? State the objective of organizing such champions. List 2 arguments which you would give to motivate the people to donate their eye after death. So third one is list any 2 values that are there in people who actively participate in the contribution to such program. So students, so first of all, objective of organizing such champion is to create awareness about the purpose donating eyes. It is to bring the attention to the fact that millions of people are suffering from corneal blindness, which can be cured by replacing defective cornea. And second one is the argument that motivate to people to donate their eyes are four. First is, even after death you can give the gift of the vision to 4 corneal blind people through your pair of eye. The eye removal after death is a simple process that can only 10 or 15 minutes, does not lead to any disfigurement. And third one is, if people actively participating in this contribution of such program have empathy and kindness, these 2 values enable such people to think about other and contribute positively to their lives. So question number 3.3 on your SB10. Compare the refraction of light through a glass prism and a glass slab. So first of all, a light refract through a glass prism, and second one is refraction through a glass slab. So light refract at 2 surfaces which are inclined at angle each other, and the emergent ray is deviate from direction of the incident ray. But in case of refraction of a glass slab, the light refract 2 surfaces which is parallel to each other, but the emergent ray is parallel to the incident ray. This is the difference. So question number 3.4 on your SB10. This is a question. Priya trace the path of the light ray through a triangular glass prism for 4 different angles of incidence. She analyzed her observation and drew following conclusion. So according to this diagram, figure 3, first is on entering the prism. prism, the light ray bent toward its base. Means light bends toward the base. And third one is the emerging from the prism, the light ray deviates from original path. The actual path is VI, but it emergent and deviate toward the FG. So these two options are the correct. But second one is while emerging through prism, the light ray bent away from its base, it is false. So question number 3.4, that is following conclusion. The refraction of light takes place through a prism. If light in incident from direction of a base BC of a prism, the emergent ray also bend toward the base of prism. And second one is the emergent rays deviate from the direction of incident. So students, I am going to share a slide. In this slide you see a prism with a incident ray, refracted ray and emergent ray. So according to this angle, the angle of deviation of the refraction of a light shown below. So which is the angle of deviation? ROS or SOQ, QOP or POR. So which is the deviation? First of all, we know that it is incident ray, means PS is a incident ray and RQ is emergent ray. So angle between RQ and PS, the angle of SOQ is the angle of deviation. So students, these are some precautions experiment tracing the ray of light through a triangular slab. So when we do experiment in a physical class, at that time we take conclusion. Students, after a prism we have going to start dispersion of a white light. So through a prism we conclude how a white light convert into different color. So first of all you have to watch and understand the conclusion when a white light pass through a glass prism.
We know that when light travels through a triangular glass prism, it refracts and the emergent ray is deviated from the incident ray by the angle of deviation. Let us see what happens when a narrow beam of white light is incident on one of the faces of a glass prism. A narrow beam of white light can be obtained by allowing sunlight to fall on a small hole or a narrow slit in a cardboard. Sunlight is also referred to as white light. When the narrow beam of white light is incident direction and hence are not separated. Do you think that a beam of red light passing through a prism will disperse into different colors? No, the red light will not disperse as it is not made up of any component colors. A single colored light has a single wavelength and is called monochromatic light. As a monochromatic light does not have any components, no dispersion takes place. Let us summarize what we have learned. When a narrow beam of white light is incident on a glass prism, it splits into a spectrum of its component colors. This phenomenon is called dispersion of white light. The spectrum of white light is seen as a band of 7 colors, which can be remembered by the acronym WIBGYOR. When white light travels from one medium to another, the different component colors of white light bend at different angles with respect to the original path of the white light and are thus separated. The violet light bends the most, while red light bends the least.
Student, you have to learn how to a white light disperse or divided into 7 different color and recombination of or combining of several colors into a white light. So after that we have to shifting toward the practice question number 4.1, 4.3. So in question 4.1 on your SB11, the prism ABC is placed in different orientation and a narrow beam of white light is incident on the prism. In each case, identify the case in which third color from the top spectrum is blue. We lastly read about a code WIBGYOR or the define the indigo be blue. So blue in on a third number in case of the third color from the top of spectrum is blue. So question number 4.3 on your SB11. So can a rectangular slab, glass slab produce a spectrum of a white light? Justify your answer. No, rectangular. After refraction, in case of glass slab, a rectangular form, they parallel to incident ray. But in case of prism, the emergent ray is not parallel, because they emerge along the same direction and thus not separated. So there is two refracting surface, glass slab and parallel. The component color emerging from the glass slab also parallel. So emerge also the same direction are thus not separated. So student, these are this practice question 4.1 and 4.3 on your SB11. Student, if you have any queries related to Prism, you have to talk to me and text me on my WhatsApp personal number. Thank you.